In today's video, we're going to be talking about all of the things in the upcoming pattern. There is a lot of interesting things coming up, okay? So we need to talk about all of these things. There is a big pattern shift potentially coming. We're in more of a fall-like pattern right now, regardless of what time of year we're in. We're obviously already in December, which is meteorological winter after December 1st. So we are officially in meteorological winter. It's just the winter weather necessarily in the eastern United States has not fully set in yet. Out west, though, we do see that wintry weather has fully set in. We will take a look at this in just a second, a zoomed in look. We have some storminess across the south as well that we need to talk about, and really a lot of upcoming interesting storms as well that we're going to be going over today. We can tell that as we zoom in out west, there's a very strong storm system out west just offshore of the west coast, and this is just throwing storminess onshore here to a lot of the southwest. Also, we could see that up in the northwest, we see some of this precipitation all the way up there, mostly in the form of snowfall up there. So there's a lot of interesting things going on, including mountainous snowfall, like we mentioned. So across the Rockies, the Cascades here, and even down through the Sierra Nevadas here, we see plenty of this snowiness taking place. We even see that across some of these hillier regions over here, we see some of that as well. So definitely very interesting things already taking place. Heavier showers moving onshore to California. And again, that is switching over to snowfall over the Sierra Nevadas there. Now we see more rain than snowfall as we reach the lower elevations in more of the coastal areas here of Washington and Oregon, so that's important to keep in mind. Again, more snowfall here as we work our way further inland, further east. Actually, some major snowfall in some spots, especially now in Idaho, near Boise and Idaho Falls, actually, matter of fact. We have heavier snowfall coming down for a lot of these areas, especially there in the blues, indicating whiteout conditions, and then those whites indicating heavier snowfall in general. As we take a look here at more southern areas, we do have some more mixed precipitation occurring. Now, as we work our way towards the southwest here in Arizona and New Mexico, we do see rainfall showers, light to moderate there, showing up. And then across the south central, we do have plenty of these heavier showers taking place across Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Mississippi here as well. We do have a cold front stretching across the southeast here, bringing some more isolated and scattered showers and thunderstorms. And then we do have our typical daytime Florida thunderstorms look like they're kind of starting to develop here offshore of the East Coast there. Now, that's pretty much it. So what we're going to do is move on and we're going to take a look at the upcoming pattern. Now here we are taking a look at things. As we continue on with this, we can see that there is going to be more and more snowfall developing across the northwest here. This is even as we're reaching tonight into early on Monday. As we continue on towards Tuesday afternoon, we see things become a lot more stormy here across the eastern United States. That's very important to keep in mind. The deeper south, even across all the way from the southeast through the mid-Atlantic into the northeast, we have this rainfall occurring. Again, fall-like weather as we have this warm air pushing northward across a lot of these regions. We just see the warm air really rushing in, cold air mostly sticking in this area, swinging up north like this. So that's why we see the snowfall occurring out west and for the north central United States. That's what we're pretty much seeing by this point. Now by Wednesday afternoon, we still have a lot of storminess here across a lot of the south central, southeast, and in general the eastern United States here. That's going to be mostly light to moderate rainfall along a frontal boundary. And this is about the 8th. As we reach about Friday, we do get a low developing in here. It is kind of swung up just like this. And what it's going to do is it's going to continue to swing in just like this and actually bring some snowfall potentially here across portions of the northeast and maybe the mid-Atlantic. This was the same storm that these models were showing hundreds of miles further south here for Saturday the 10th. And it actually ended up being an earlier storm setting in. We get less cold, and this leads towards snowfall potentially across these regions instead of these regions here, which for us southern folks is a little bit sad. We can see the jet stream is doing just about like this. So this warm ridge is trying to just continue to battle out the cold here in the east. This is by the 11th, extending a little bit further than we originally anticipated. Not going to lie. But then we finally get a stronger low here developing. And this is bringing cold and snowfall to a lot of the north and east and western regions here, better yet, of this storm. So we get snowfall in here, low right here, and then we get the warm air surging in like this. But we do have a cold front swinging in behind this warm air, so warm air surging out ahead, cold air swinging back behind. Could be a severe weather event if this did occur. I could see this being a pretty decent severe weather event for the deeper south here. Definitely need to watch this area for some severe weather if this was to occur. And eventually, what this gives way to is by the 13th, a very strong trough in the east. As you can see, we have a jet stream doing about like this. And that will eventually reach the east coast as well. We do have snowfall occurring here in the northwest, moderate to heavy in some spots, the Cascades, the Rockies here, so Cascades, Rockies there, and we even have the not even the Catskills, the Finger Lakes region there of New York, and then the White Mountains and hilly regions of Maine as well by the 13th, which will be Tuesday, receiving some snowfall. Jetstream still doing this by the end of the model run. So only time we'll be able to tell what happens from here, but these models are indicating that there could be some cold occurring afterwards for a lot of these areas. Here's the total precipitation through the next 10 days, and if you're anywhere in the whites there, we're expecting practically no precipitation. Your gray's 1/10 of an inch or less of precipitation. Your green's 1/10 of an inch to 1/2 inch. Your blue's 1/2 inch to 1 inch. Yellow's 1 inch to 2 inches. Red's 2 to 5 inches, and then your brown's there 5 to 10 inches of precipitation. We can tell that there's going to be a lot of storms moving through the northwest, and a lot of storms moving through just like this, which is pretty much what we've been calling for a couple of weeks to occur. Total snowfall through the next 10 days, as you can see, a dusting if anything there in the grays. Your blues 2 to 6 inches of snowfall, purples 6 to 10, pinks 10 to 20 there, and then your pastel blue is going to be 20 to 35 inches of snowfall approximately, and then your pastel pinks there along the western mountains there for the Cascades, the Sierra Nevadas, areas like that. We have those pink pastels. Those are going to be 35 to 48 inches plus, even 116 inches being indicated as a maximum somewhere in there. So certainly a whole lot of snowfall expected out west. Now, the temperature pattern, we're going to be seeing a lot of this. And I know people hate this, but that is what we're going to be seeing a whole lot of. We do see the cold moves in, especially this evening into tomorrow. But then look, by Tuesday, we have this warm air surging in once more, really surging in. Okay, so we're stuck in a pattern like this, like I mentioned. So a big ridge in the east and then a trough out west and for the north central United States. But really the deeper cold is up here, stuck up in Canada. Now we see this tries to take aim at the east, but what happens is this stubborn ridge, the southeast ridge, cancels that out, really. We see the warm air surging like this, stronger than the cold air is to the north. And this just allows for the east to stay warm, and this cold innocently kind of just slides past instead of ever really entering into the eastern United States. Then by about this weekend, so Sunday into Monday, look at that. Another southeast ridge really just surging this warm air up into the eastern United States. There's a bit of cold across the central United States, but it's not even that intense, I will say. But by Tuesday, it's looking a little bit more intense with some greens and some darker blues. Definitely bringing some colder air, especially when you compare it to the warm air that we were having before it. But this is not going to be significantly below normal temperatures. This will not be, the most intense cold air you've ever felt in your life. It's going to feel more seasonal to slightly colder than normal there for the 13th to 14th right now, according to this model. And the problem we're having is there's still plenty of cold air here along the western United States, indicating a negative PNA, which is going to continue to encourage warmer air into the central and eastern United States, regardless of any other teleconnection. So, as long as this cold air is stuck here, especially significant cold air, we're pretty much canceled for the cold air in the east until that pattern can completely break. We're not going to get a deep eastern trough regardless of what happens until this pattern breaks, which we're going to be making some update videos and really trying to track that. It's nearly impossible for it to stay in its negative phase the entire winter, so that's the good news. We don't expect it to be the entire winter. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to like the video, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.